camino. No ha viajado lo suficiente en esta vida todavía. El micro sigue siendo una transición, pero la hermosura viene de apreciarlo. Cuando el cuerpo ya no puede.
Hi, I'm Purple, and welcome back. As you know, I left the U.S., I retired from the U.S. and moved to Mexico, and now I reside in Mexico. And this is the second installment of my, I think, 8 series videos on how I did it, how I moved, with suggestions on how you can. So let's get started. One of the things I've found is in moving anywhere, you have to identify what's most important to you. For me, it was weather, being close to hummingbirds. For me, it was weather, being close to the U.S. so I could have medical care. I'm not saying that medical care in Mexico isn't good, because it is. I am just very familiar with medical care in the United States, and I know how to navigate that system. And I have a couple of, being 60, I have a couple of ailments that I have to worry about. So you have to determine what's important. Now, also, I'm from Chicago, as you know, and I couldn't deal with that cold anymore. It's too deep, guys. Come on back. Come on, Jack. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Looking like a snowmobile. Yeah. Come on. Come on, Jack O'Malley. Come on. Let's try to get over this. Ah! That was it. I remember the winter of 2022. I said, this is my last winter. Come on. Can you get it? All right. There you go. There you go. Yeah, how about that? All right. All right. Oreo, where you going, man? This is the last time I'm going to be cold like this. And so, and then, my dogs. I had to drive across the border because I couldn't put them in a plane. So those were um, my big things, along with affordability. I couldn't move to Dubai because I can't afford to live in Dubai. But due to the affordability in Mexico, I can live here, and I can live here well. Now, I don't know what your criteria or requirements would be for moving. Maybe it's language. I speak very little Spanish, so I had to pick a town where I could get past speaking very little Spanish. And I live in Ensenada, and it's a port town, and there's a lot of English speaking Mexicans. And I am learning, but it's a slow process for me. So you got to determine, is language important? Is weather important? Is affordability important to you? Is affordability important to you? Also, different areas, infrastructures are different in Mexico. If you are still working and you're like a digital nomad, or you're doing part-time work as a retirement online, and being on the internet is very, very important, that's going to be one of the driving forces of identifying where you move. In order to make this move, you have to prepare yourself. It's not a small task, but it's doable. But you have to prepare yourself, which I don't think people think about, is emotionally and mentally. You also have to prepare yourself financially, because it is going to be a cost in moving. I don't think you could just jump up and move. You got to do some preparation. Do you have to sell a house? Do you have to purge? Do you have to prepare yourself physically, because you're about to ask your body to do some things that it hasn't been doing. It's changing. So what am I talking about? Emotionally, you're about to leave maybe the people you love, maybe the place that you have been all your life, or you're about to leave some place that has been toxic and dysfunctional for you. All of that is change that you have to prepare your mind for. You cannot take yourself someplace else and think and think that things are going to be different just because you change your location. If you are a person who's judgmental, you need to check that, because you're about to move someplace and everything is totally different. And those opinions that you have, you're going to have to find a way to deal with them. Mentally, if you're dealing with anxiety, maybe you can see a therapist, to work on those things. Because whatever is challenging you where you are right now is going to challenge you where you're going. I promise you, unless you do some reflective changes on yourself. Financially, uh, um, though Mexico is a lot more affordable than the United States. I'm from Chicago, so it's considerably affordable for me. But if you're from a southern town, it's even going to be more. If you're from LA, then it's going to be more affordable, but not as much. I don't know if that came across right, but I'm trying, right? Um, it depends on your cost of living of where you are in the United States, will depend on how much more affordable Mexico will be for you. So you have to also financially consider the move, whether or not you're going to move all your belongings, whether or not you're going to purge and only take your clothes, or somewhere in between. You got to determine that. And the move is going to cost something, right? Because one of the things that you're going to have to do, or that I suggest that you do, is when you decide where you're going to, you need to make a trip and explore. You need to go there, find where you're going to live, um, and on the ground, not just through the internet. There are some great relocation specialists I can refer you to, but you need to go on the ground so you know what's going on for yourself. One of the other things I think you should do is set a date. When are you going to do this by? Give yourself a date so that you can work toward it. I moved here September of 2023, and I had a total hip replacement, my second one, in May of 2023. So I had to do physical therapy. I had to work out. I had to do things because I'm about to move to a different country. I got to walk around. I might have to climb on some things. I had to prepare myself. So if your endurance is not where it should be, this is the time to start working on it. Like, I use Mexico as a carrot for me. These are all the things you got to do, Purple, to get where you want to go. I used Mexico as a carrot for me. These are all the things I had to do to move forward. And it's causing for improving myself so that my life can be improved. Yes, it's more affordable in Mexico. And in future videos, I'm going to really spell that out, how much the cost of living is, so that you can plan financially on how you're going to do this. I want you to remember to subscribe. Please subscribe so that you can know when my videos are going to come out. As you know, I'm new at this, and this itself is a venture for me. Doing a YouTube video series is a venture for me. Okay, I want you to come back for the remaining of this series. I think it's 6 more episodes left. Well, of course, we're going to talk about living here, affordability, budget. We're going to talk about residency, the benefits of temporary as opposed to permanent residency, as opposed to just getting a visa that you can cross the border with. We're going to talk about all those things to get you ready to get here and be my neighbor. Don't you want to be my neighbor? What was that? Mr. Rogers, won't you be my neighbor? Talk to you later. Bye.